Good evening to you all. I welcome you all to
Sound.
the present study class on Mahatma letters. Today, our speaker is Professor C.S. Sindhe. Before I introduce him to you all, I am going to announce that henceforth this Friday program at 8 p.m. as well as the program on Sunday 10 a.m. will be the program of Indian section.
You use headphones, sir. Better.
Indian section Theosophical
No,
Society.
I don't have. I have not brought.
For that,
Doesn't
I
matter.
convey my
I can
sincere
talk loudly.
Okay.
thanks and gratitude from the core of my heart to the President of Indian section, Brother Pradeep H. Gohil. So also the senior member, the today's speaker, Professor C.S. Sindhe, who in fact started the ball rolling. On 29/1/2021, we have discussed following important points from letter number 35 and 36. Mahatma mentioned second-hand testimony never satisfied.
You can see, no?
Second-hand testimony never satified.
When he speaks,
It is not physical phenomena, second point, that will ever bring
When
conviction
you close.
to the
When,
hearts of the unbelievers in the brotherhood. But
no.
the,
While going, just put that.
the phenomena
The dogs, etc., should not come.
okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.
intellectual philosophy and logic. Then third point, do you not realize that were it not for your exceptional intellect and the help to be derived therefore, the Chauhan would have long ago closed every door of communication between us. So the persons who are among us, the very studious, intellectually developed, having exceptional intellect, and if they are involved in the Theosophical Society activities, then the result derived from it will be helpful to the humanity. So next is important. Now it is not possible to get a guide, philosopher and friend. Mahatma mentioned in that letter number 35. Thrice fortunate they who can break through the vicious circle of modern influence, come up above vectors. So the present modern world, those who will come up out of this modern influence, we know how the humanity
Even we can stop that.
deteriorating day by day.
Not
So
necessary, no?
those human beings who will
Nice.
come up out of the modern influence, Mahatma mentioned vapors, then they can be thrice fortunate. What is that thrice fortunate?
But
Thrice
that will
fortunate,
be,
they
it's
will get
okay.
guide,
25 is all
they
right.
will get philosopher, they will get friend. So lastly, Mahatma mentioned
You
that
listen. His,
one word for all aspirant,
yeah. That is
try,
better.
try. Here he mentioned for the aspirant, try, and Brother Krishna mentioned that try is otherwise one can tarak Bhaji. Then he explained on the question of Bhaji. So another important, time is no object with me. Mahatma mentioned the time is no object with me. Today, where speaker letter number 37 is perhaps the most interesting and many ways the most moving letter in the correspondence. It is signed by a disinherited, a designation for at that time senior most disciple of Mahatma K.H. Jualkul. Now we are told here he already a master, important member of the White Brotherhood. At that time he was a Chela. Mahatma mentioned particularly in a book written by Joy Mills, undoubtedly a high status of Mahatma K.H., is a disciple of K.H. So it is the letter signed by Jwalkul as disinherited. Is a very senior most member or senior disciple of Master K.H. This is the letter which there are 12 points. It will be explained by brother C.A. Sindhe, Professor C.A. Sindhe, and he will be helped by Sister Vibhaji. He will present this slide for him, and also Professor C.A. Sindhe will explain it. So no need of an introduction to Professor Sindhe. He is a long-standing member of Theosophical Society from Sangli. Now with his family, he at Adair, Chief Adair Librarian, and also international lecturer, as well as National Lecturer of Theosophical Society, Indian section, and also council member of the International Council member, Executive Body member, as so also the Indian section Executive Body member. So with this short introduction, I leaving it to Sister Haji to do the other one. Thank you.
Okay, good evening and namaste to all of you. I'll just read out the slides and then Professor Shinde will be talking on the same. So I'm starting from the first slide. Sir, I think you want 4 slides at a time.
Yeah.
You want me to read 4 slides at one time?
No, I will let you know which slide I want.
Okay.
Okay. And you need not read because I will also read. No problem.
Okay, fine. Then you please begin. I will just show the slide.
Because sometimes I explain in between.
Okay.
Only you just show one by one what we can do. First 4 slides, the first part.
Okay.
Next 4, next part. And the last 4 will be the third part. Like this, we will divide 12 points into 4 each.
Okay.
So we'll, I think Vibhaji, we can begin with now. Hello?
Yes.
You listen to me, everybody. What about voice? Voice is clear?
Yes, voice is clear.
Yes, sir, clear.
Very good, very good.
Clear.
So good evening, brothers and sisters. And thanks, Pradeep, and also members of the Siddhartha Lodge for giving me an opportunity to share some thoughts on Mahatma letter, especially on topic probation and chelaship. It is because probation and chelaship both are essential stages on the spiritual path. As human beings are not perfect, they are imperfect. So training and trials all are necessary stages on the spiritual path. It is during this period the Mahatma, they bring out latent strength and our weaknesses out of the Chela's vehicles, and thus they make him fit to overcome whatever stumbling blocks or trials come in between. So in group study, when we study the Mahatma letters, we must read the entire letter first. Then additional pages from letters on the subject, which are given in guiding or guidelines to the readers of the Mahatma letter, etc. And contemplating on them, you will get some hint. So you are asked, examine your own previous ideas about the Mahatma letters, examine your own previous ideas about adaptship, and see yourself what change has taken in your perception or perspective, attitude. After deep study, this is how one's perspective changes to look at these Mahatma letters. That is why in the beginning I said, for this purpose, I would like to divide this letter number 37 into 3 parts. Already Pradeep has given 12 points. Good. And these 12 points we will discuss in 3 pages, 4 points in each. First part can be included the points number 1 to 4, and those 4 points will be projected and will then second part 5 to 8 and third part 9 to 12 points, so that we can comprehend this letter and make intelligible and easy to discuss. So before begin with, let us see in which context this letter is written. That is very important. On what context they wrote a letter to the AP Senate? What was the necessary? So if you look into the context of this letter number 37, this letter is issued privately and received at Allahabad in January 1882 by Jalkul, as Pradeep just now showed. It was received by the Jalkul privately from the Master KH, and this Jalkul was asked to give this to AP Senate. But you know, by that time, AP Senate was not in the Allahabad. He had gone to Bombay to receive his family, who was to arrive by ship on 6th January. And what happened, you know, while coming in the ship, in ship only, some notes are also received there by her missus, and those notes are also incorporated in this context. So in 1881, while the Mahatma KH was on his 3 months retreat, see, their retreat is about 3 months, and during that retreat, the Mahatma M took over the correspondence, and Mr. Hume directed some penetrating questions to him, which he answered. Mr. Sinnett copied these answers in his own notebook. They are not included in the Mahatma letters, but we must know they will be found as Appendix 2nd in the H.P. Blavatsky letter to AP Senate, page number 376. And as they raised further questions in Mr. Sinnett's mind, so he addressed an additional series of questions to Mahatma M. This is how there was, we must remember, there was constant communication through letters, even what is to be published in the journal like Theosophist, etc. Of course, AP Senate noticed those cosmological notes and also noticed those queries of Mahatma M's reply also. And not only he mastered those explanations, but also used those understandings in his series of articles, and he incorporated in due course in his book Esoteric Buddhism in next year, that is 1883. And with this introduction, I may say, number 37 letter is very important to see in this context, how this was written, why it was written. And here I will read here, it was written on thin, creamy, white paper, folded in blue ink, in Jalkul script. This letter is from Jalkul. The first part informs AP Senate that Master has completed retreat, but that due to his sensitive condition. He will not be able to venture into the outside world for some time. And this is all taken from the Reader's Guide to Mahatma letters. Then I will project the second point. Vibhaji, second point you can give. The master has awaked and bids me write. Yes, second point you project. Vibhaji?
Yeah, she's given.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, now it has come. The master has awaked and bids me write. To his great regret for certain reasons, he will not be able until a fixed period has passed to expose himself to the thought currents inflowing so strongly from beyond the Himavat. I am therefore commanded to be the hand to indite his message. See, this is very important. Why this is written? And for this, we must know what is this retreat and how he has become so sensitive. In any retreat, it is also like a samadhi state. And immediately from this samadhi state, one cannot be able to convey anything. So they need some assistant chelas and lay chelas, etc., who are instructed to pass on some important thoughts that he wants to pass. Because they are on the higher stage and they cannot bring on the lower mental level. And therefore they take the help of the chelas. And so this is not directly communicated, but on the subtler plane, it was communicated to Jalkul, and on behalf of Master K.H., Jalkul transcribed it, and it is sent to the AP Senate. So this is done because it was necessary for that time. So he was so sensitive in that condition, but still he tried. And therefore he says, thought currents inflowing so strongly from beyond the Himavat. I am therefore commanded to be the hand to indite his message. So this is how the letter has come. Then in the third point, we can focus the third point now. Third point. Next slide, Vibhaji. You have proved your affection and sincerity by your zeal. The impulse you have personally given to the cause we love will not be checked. Therefore, the fruits of it, the word reward is avoided being used for the goody-goody, will not withheld when your balance of causes and effects, your karma is adjusted. It is a very important point, actually. See, what we have to remember here, that point to be noted, that Mahatmas are able to adjust our karma. They can adjust our karma, but they cannot interfere with our karma. And that should be noted very carefully. And regarding karma, I will let you know that how it is adjusted, etc. In one of the letters, he says, yes, in one of the contests, he has said, Master K.H., let not the fruit of good karma be your motive. For your karma, good or bad, being one and the common property of all mankind, nothing good or bad can happen to you that is not shared by many others. Hence, your motive being selfish, can only generate a double effect, good and bad, and will either nullify your good action or turn it into another man's profit. There is no happiness for one who is ever thinking of self and forgetting all other selves. The universe goes under the way of such action, karma, and none other than self-sacrificial karma relieves it. So, as the gods, when incarnated, do, feel yourself the vehicle of humanity. Here, about the karma is adjusted only when we become vehicle of the humanity. So, work for the humanity, then your karma will be adjusted. So, even though you have proved your affection and sincerity by your zeal, the impulse you have personally given to the cause that we love definitely, but and that will not be checked also. Therefore, the fruits of it will not be withered when your balance of cause and effect, your karma is adjusted. And then we will go into the fourth point, how they will explain. Vibhaji, fourth point you focus. In unselfishly and at personal risk, laboring for your neighbor, you have most effectually worked for yourself. One here has wrought a great change in your heart. The man of 1880 would scarcely recognize the man of 1881 where they confronted. Compare them, then good friend and brother, that you may fully realize what time has done, or rather what you have done with time. See here, karma and time, you must remember, time teaches us, karma also teaches us, but both are important. And what change in 1 year has happened? If you look at our lockdown period, 1 year we have lived in our and stayed at home safely. And in that period, what change has taken place in you, you have to examine. In the same way, he asks, in unselfishly and at personal risk, laboring for your neighbor, you have most effectually worked for yourself. What wrong thing you have done, though your intention is unselfish, but you have worked for laboring for your neighbor, you have most effectively worked for yourself. So with self-project, you have worked for yourself. One here has wrought a great change in your heart. The man of 1880 would scarcely recognize the man of 1881. Where they confronted, compare them, then good friend and brother, that you may fully realize what time has done, or rather what you have done with time. So this is a warning also. And what he indicates, lot of changes can take place within us if we work for others. You may not notice it. No spiritual, wholehearted effort goes in vain. Therefore, Master further writes, given in point 5 and 6, 7 and 8, we will consider. But what we must remember here, difference between Guru and teacher. So, Guru teaches us. This Master, Mahatmas, they teach us and take trials also. They give warning and give us trials. But karma gives trial first to learn lesson. So you have spent time. So karma in time, it gives first lessons and then we learn. So you have to examine yourself what change has taken place in you within 1 year. Then we'll go, the master asked to meditate. Next point. With this introspection, the master asked to do this meditate, asked to do this meditates alone with magic mirror of memory to gaze into. See, these words are very important. Magic mirror of memory to gaze into. Thus shall you not only see the lights and shadows of the past, but the possible brightness of the future as well. And in 6th also I will read, thus in time will you come to see the ego of our time in its naked reality. And thus also you shall hear from me direct at the earliest practical opportunity, for we are not ungrateful, and even nirvana cannot obliterate good. So here what is to be remembered? Having sharp memory is definitely good, but one should develop habit of unlearning ability to forget the unwanted things. And therefore he asks, you go gaze into the magic mirror of memory. Memory itself is a magic mirror. So you must gaze into it and learn the lesson of unlearning. Thus shall you not only see the lights and shadows of the past, but the possible brightness of the future as well. So when you go deep into your memory, magic of memory, you will see what mistake we have done in the past. Then you learn from that mistakes some lessons. So you see the light and shadows of the past, but the possible brightness of the future as well. So here we must remember how we pass stage by stage, looking into ourselves, deep into our memory. That first stage, we perceive, our perception shifts from lower to higher level. Then we find answers. Then we feel the breakthrough experience. And with this, we come to the stage of integration and also expansion. So therefore, meditate with magic mirror. How can we learn from this letter? So, are we using our own thinking? Are we using our own understanding? Are we using our own intuitive perception? Can we look out at ourselves and learn lessons from the past? These are all questions we must ask, meditate in the magic mirror. And secondly, consider each statement in those letters and you consider them on their own merit. That is why in which context it is written, what merit it has, you must consider. Of course, no doubt, remember, you must also remember that statements are transcribed by chelas and lay chelas. Therefore, they are not direct from the Mahatmas again. Therefore, our own thinking, our own intuitive understanding is very essential. That all includes look into the magic mirror of memory. And it is because what hint I get, the other person may not get from the same letter, the same hint. So it is important to self-observation is essential. So there is a necessity of independent thinking if we are to discover truth for ourselves. Definitely, Mahatma letters, they inspire our minds, they stir our hearts. Even it is said, don't get upset. Failure of one cycle may be the Dhyan Choan of the next. So don't get upset. Failure of one cycle may be the Dhyan of the next. This is how they give encouragement also in their letters. So next we will go point number 7. Next, yes, Vibhaji. Next, you project. Yes, these are the master's words. As with his help, I am enabled to form them in our language, in your language. Honored sir, I am personally permitted at the same time to thank you very warmly for the genuine sympathy which you felt for me at the time when a slight accident due to my forgetfulness laid me on my bed of sickness. So this is a gratitude is expressed. And here the point we must remember, a slight accident due to my forgetfulness led me on my bed sickness. To whom this happened? It is the Jalkul, because a slight accident. It was not a slight accident actually. It is referred by Jalkul to his fall off a cliff. And it was not, as I said, a slight accident, because it led him for a quite some time to be in bed. And, on the other letter, AP Senate comment about good wishes for this slight accident also. So this is given in all other letters, especially the other guides, etc. So it refers that slight accident. Then we'll go to the 8th point. 8th point. Okay, next point yes, is in the next point, though you may read in the modern works on mesmerism, how that which we call will essence and U fluid is transmitted from the operator to his objective points, you perhaps scarcely realize how everyone is practically, albeit unconsciously, demonstrating this law every day and every moment, nor can you realize how the training for adaptation increases both one's capacity to emit and to feel his form of force. This is again little bit very subtler, very subtler. We can't do this mesmerism. You know mesmerism. In mesmerism, one get mesmerized and perhaps unconsciously he is giving his force to the other person. And this is all psychical abilities. This we must refer to letter number 35 and 36, last two letters, what in the last week we have dealt about the Senate's disappointment using mediumship. As you know, masters, they can use mediumship. Master M himself used a vehicle of H.P. Blavatsky as mediumship. And then his force is given to the other person where it is required through H.P. Blavatsky. This can happen, and these masters can do this, but you cannot do. That is what master tell to AP Senate. Though you may read in the modern works on mesmerism, how that which we call will essence and U fluid is transmitted from the operator to his objective points, you perhaps scarcely realize how everyone is practically, albeit unconsciously, demonstrating this law every day and every moment. This is again they have showed. It is not unnatural. It is definitely natural. When we say namaste to the others, that time we are definitely transforming our fluid to the other. That is what we speak in the aura, how the aura gets. So when we remember and send loving thoughts to the person, we definitely conveying him some fluidic connection. That is what Master declares here. It is not unnatural, it is natural. But for you, it is not possible. That is what he, and of course, AP Senate get disappointed by this. In letter number 35 and 36, we get it. So further he says, nor can you realize how the training for adaptship increases both one's capacity to emit and to feel his form of force. So we are definitely imperfect. We cannot transmit as masters transmit. And for that, if you want to become a adept, then you have to realize how the training for adaptship increases both one's capacity to emit and to feel his form of force. So these points, 5, 6, 7, and 8, all these are the second part of this letter. Now we will go to the next part, that is the 9th one. That third part we are dealing, 4 more points. All these are important, but yes, yeah. Now this 9th point, that gentleman chooses to do but what suits his personal fancy without any regard whatever to the feeling of other. His present work also a pyramid of intellectual energy misspent. His objections and his reasons are calculated, but to exaggerate himself only. It should be exaggerate himself only. So whatever he has given reasons and objection, this is all self-exaggeration is found. So master regrets to find in him the same spirit of utter unconscious selfishness with no view to the good of the cause he represents. So this is very important how the masters they observed, especially to both of them, Hume and AP Senate. And they said, most of the time you have projected your own personal agenda, personal exaggeration, and unconscious selfishness with no view to the good of the cause he represents. So here what from the other letters I will point here, that our duty is thankless. Somebody is talking. Pradeep, somebody is talking. Okay, no doubt the Mahatmas are more appreciative of Chela's efforts than may apparent on the surface. At one time, Mahatma M wrote to Mr. Hume, you must not think that because we have never shown any knowledge of what you have been doing, nor because we have never acknowledged or thanked you, for it is our letters we are either ungrateful for or ignore purposely or otherwise what you have done, for it is really not so. For though no one ought to be expecting thanks for doing his duty by humanity and the cause of truth, since, after all, he who labors for others labors for himself. Nevertheless, my brother, I feel deeply grateful to you for what you have done. And at another time, And in another connection, Mahatma K.H. assured Mr. Sinnett, ingratitude is not one of our vices. So this is all connected with this. Master and disciple relationship is not of one life. That's what we must remember. See, A.P. Sinnett in one life was the commander of Master K.H. and he protected Master K.H. from the treachery. So this is how Master K.H. is really obliged by the Master, this A.P. Sinnett. So previous lives we don't know. And when we think of master and disciple relationship, it is not of one life. It is a silent gift of nature actually. More older the relationship, more strong, more care, more respect. And with less words, but more understanding. With less meetings, but more feelings. So this can be understood, the relation between Master A.P. Sinnett and Master K.H. and M, all this. This is not of one life's relations. So he says, a pyramid of intellectual energy misspent. His objections and regions are calculated, but to exaggerate himself only, Master regret to find in him the same spirit of utter unconscious selfishness with no view to the good of the cause he represents. So, to understand this point, more explanation is required because in Mahatma letter number 34, Mahatma explained Hume's dissatisfaction, especially his claims and demands, all are out of misunderstanding. And we need to have understanding as the laws, but unfortunately, our, what we say, imperfect human beings have more law of misunderstanding, rather law of understanding. So this is what we can think of this point number 9, very important. Then we come to the last 2.2 or 3. They are very simple. 10th point. Vibhaji, next point. On Mr. Terry's letter to be published in the Theosophy January issue, will you kindly see to it? Master asks. Master thinks you, A.P. Sinnett, can do it, as well as Mr. Hume, if you but tried, as the metaphysical faculty in you is only dormant, but would fully develop to awake it to its full action by constant use. And the 11th is, since the master will not able to write to you himself for a month or two longer, though you will hear him, he begs you to proceed for his sake with your metaphysical studies and not to be giving up the task in despair whenever you meet with incomprehensible ideas in M. Sahib's notes, the more so. So, as M. Sahib's only hatred in his life is for writing. So, these masters, they see our selfishness, our aura, and lot of imperfection is found in the human beings. And they ask, metaphysical faculty in you is only dormant. What is this metaphysical faculty? See, this metaphysical faculty is non-physical forces. And these non-physical forces, we cannot catch them with our instruments, etc. They are very subtle. But Now modern science trying to catch these metaphysical forces, especially Carlin's photography. If you look into it, it shows the aura is caught. Those are metaphysical processes, how they change the color. So color we can photograph. So this is how we can see there are metaphysical faculty in you, but they are dormant. But they will fully develop to awake it to its full action by constant use. So he again gives, you raise yourself, your consciousness, expand your consciousness in space and time. That is what HPB said, to meditate. And then you can raise yourself to these metaphysical studies. And therefore, you don't misunderstand and ask silly questions like this. That is what he wants to inform us. And in the last, if you are not able to do that, then he said, you can write to him through D.K. Maulankar. That is what in the last you can. This Terry's letter, especially, I want to look into that letter in January 1883 or something. But I could not find in the old Theosophist that letter. Actually, that letter is of metaphysical one. And therefore, he referred that one. And A.O. Hume or A.P. Sinnett, they were objecting, but that letter was something to convey to the new human generations. Well, this is what all these points are included in this letter number 37. And I hope I tried to make you intelligible little bit what I have understood. Otherwise, we simply read these letters, but we must contemplate more and we must think in context with the other things. Please, over now, Pradeep. Pradeep, thank you. And Vibhaji, thank you. How many are there?
Thank you, sir.
May I know how many participants are there? 50?
There are about 59.
59, okay. Yes, 59, I see participants.
It is the highest.
Thank you to everyone. It is very difficult to explain on Mahatma letters, but Pradeep gave me this opportunity to share. As per my understanding, I have shared. I don't know how far justice I have given to these letters. I may be wrong, but it gives inspiration to read more. That is what I hope.
Okay, sir. Now I request Minakshi to
she will tell
summarize in Hindi.
Namaste everyone. Namaste Kaka.
Namaste.
शिंदे काका ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से इस पत्र को समझा दिया है। यह पत्र बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण पत्र है प्रोबेशन एंड चेलाशिप के अंदर। तो यह पत्र जनवरी 1882 में मास्टर केज अपने शिष्य ज्वाल कुल द्वारा एपी सिनेट को लिखते हैं। तो यह पत्र मास्टर केज अपनी 3 महीनों की दीर्घकाल की समाधि अवस्था से उठने के बाद अपने शिष्य ज्वाल कुल द्वारा एपी सिनेट को लिखते हैं। वे अति संवेदनशील उच्चावस्था में थे उस समय। कुछ अवधि के लिए हिमालय के उस पार से भौतिक जगत से बहने वाली तीव्र विचारधाराओं का सामना करने में वे सक्षम नहीं थे। इसलिए मास्टर अपना संदेश शिष्य डी के द्वारा देते हैं। मास्टर का कहना है कि जिस कुशलता पूर्वक और उत्साह से आपने कार्य किया है, वह टीएस और उसके आदर्श के प्रति आपका स्नेह और ईमानदारी दर्शाता है। इससे वे बहुत संतुष्ट हैं। जिस उद्देश्य हेतु हम कार्य कर रहे हैं उसे आपने अपनी प्रेरणा बनाकर कार्य किया, इसका फल आपको जरूर मिलेगा। निस्वार्थ रूप से खुद की परवाह किए बिना मानव जाति के लिए जो कष्ट उठाए हैं, वह निस्संदेह आपने अपने लिए भी प्रभावी रूप से कार्य किया है। 1 साल में आपने महान हृदय परिवर्तन हुआ है। 80 और 81 के बीच आप में जमीन आसमान का फर्क हुआ है। समय ने आपके साथ क्या किया है, इससे भी रोचक है आपने अपने कार्यों से समय के साथ क्या किया है। इसे जानने के लिए
अरे हमको नहीं ले जाना, सिर्फ आज ही जा रहा है।
मीनाक्षी जी थोड़ा रुकिए, जस्ट ए मोमेंट मीनाक्षी जी। हाँ, again. Kindly mute all. Kindly mute. There are many person. Please mute your microphone. Hello. Kindly mute. अभी बोल सकेंगे? अभी देखिए।
हाँ, कहाँ से शुरू करें?
पता है ते व्हिडिओ वगैरे दिसतो ते स्पीकिंग नाही।
समय ने आपके साथ क्या किया है, इससे भी रोचक है आपने अपने कार्यों द्वारा समय के साथ क्या किया है, क्या किया। इसे जानने के लिए अपने स्मृति दर्पण में ध्यान से झांककर देखिए। इस प्रकार आप न केवल अतीत की छाया और रोशनी के क्षणों को देखेंगे, बल्कि संभावित उज्जवल भविष्य भी देख सकोगे। इस तरह समय आने पर आपके वास्तविक दिव्य स्वरूप का दर्शन होगा और मुझे प्रत्यक्ष रूप से सुनने का आपको अवसर जल्द ही मिलेगा। आपके कार्यों के लिए हम कृतज्ञ हैं। निर्वाण प्राप्ति भी आपसे दूर नहीं है। शिष्य कहते हैं कि यह मास्टर के शब्द हैं, जिनकी मदद से उन्हें आपकी भाषा में ढाल रहा हूँ। एक छोटी सी दुर्घटना के दौरान एपीएस इस शिष्य को बड़ी ही सहानुभूति प्रदर्शित करते हैं, जिसके लिए धन्यवाद देने की अनुमति भी मास्टर देते हैं। मेस्मेरिज्म में इच्छा शक्ति का प्रयोग होता है। हम व्यावहारिक तौर पर जाने अनजाने अपनी इच्छा शक्ति का इस्तेमाल कर हर समय करते हैं। अरहत पद के प्रशिक्षण के दौरान न ही इस शक्ति के प्रसारण करने की क्षमता बढ़ती है, बल्कि उसे ग्रहण करने की संवेदनशीलता भी बढ़ती है। इस तरह यह शिष्य भी एपीएस की सहानुभूति और शुभ कामनाएं महसूस करते हैं। ह्यूम के बारे में मास्टर कहते हैं कि ह्यूम खुद के विचार और पसंद को सर्वश्रेष्ठ मानकर दूसरों की भावनाओं की परवाह किए बगैर काम करते हैं। ह्यूम अपनी महान बुद्धि सामर्थ्य की ऊर्जा अनुचित कामों में व्यर्थ गवाते हैं। उनके तर्क वितर्क पसंद नापसंद खुद तक ही सीमित है। तरह बुद्धिमत्ता का स्वार्थ हेतु प्रदर्शन के लिए मास्टर अपना खेद व्यक्त करते हैं। मिस्टर टेरी के पत्र का उत्तर, जो कि जनवरी के थियोसॉफिस्ट में प्रकाशित होने वाला था, वह ह्यूम देने वाले थे, लेकिन मास्टर चाहते हैं कि एपीएस यह कार्य करे। मास्टर कहते हैं कि आपकी आत्मिक आंतरिक शक्ति अभी सुप्तावस्था में है, लेकिन निरंतर अभ्यास और प्रयत्न करने के उपरांत यह शक्ति पूर्ण रूप से विकसित होगी। लगभग 2 महीनों तक मास्टर स्वयं पत्र व्यवहार नहीं कर पाएंगे, लेकिन उनकी यह विनंती है कि आप अपना आध्यात्मिक अध्ययन अभ्यास जारी रखें। मास्टर एम को जीवन में यदि कोई बात नापसंद थी तो वह है लिखना, इसलिए उनके अनाकलनीय पत्रों के कारण मायूस होकर अपना अध्ययन छोड़ न देने की सलाह भी देते हैं। एपीएस यदि मास्टर को पत्र लिखना चाहे तो वे खुशी से स्वीकार करेंगे। धन्यवाद। नमस्ते।